Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to Papaya Rhythms and Hustles, where we're gonna be talking a lot about the independent music scene, how to navigate this crazy industry. I'm your host, Gian Berselli. Welcome. Make yourself at home. This podcast is for you. All right, guys, welcome. I'm here with Lovers Peak today. My name is Gian Berselli, a co-host of this podcast. I'm super excited. I've been listening to their song all morning today, and I just dig it. So before we get really geeky into the music, because I want to geek out a little bit into the whole like 80s synth wave, like all the stuff that you guys are doing, because I'm a geek for that type of genre. But why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Talk about the elephant in the room, because I was like, they look very similar. Should I ask anything about that? So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Welcome, guys. A pleasure to be here with you guys.
Well, my name's Ramiro, and I play bass and sing in Lovers Peak. And my name's Ernesto, and I play guitar and sing in Lovers Peak. And we're basically a twin wave band, twin post-punk with like some surf element. Yeah, we love indie rock, we love post-punk, so we just play everything we like.
That's
And we're
awesome.
identical twins too. Yeah.
Thank you. As I said in the beginning, I was like, they look so much alike. Should I say something? Like, I don't know if it's appropriate. But anyway, I'm glad. So where you guys are from, where you guys grew up or originally, tell me a little bit of the backstory. I love that you guys are still doing that. Like I was an exchange student back when I was 14. So I have an older sister back in Brazil where I'm from. But when I was an exchange student at the age of 14, I actually lived with three other guys, so four brothers, and we created a band. And it was such a dream to be able to have a band at the house. So tell me a little bit about where you guys grew up, and how this whole band thing came into life.
Okay, so where we grew up in a little town called Soledad. It's like near here. It's about like an hour and a half away from SF, about maybe like 2 hours. But funny story, we have a big family. We're twins. Our little sisters are also twins, and our older sister is technically a twin. So we're a
No way.
family just full of twins.
What a gene, dude.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
I feel like
crazy.
we should be interviewing your parents. You were like, so what's
Yeah.
going on there, right? Uh,
No, but basically this project, our band started like around COVID time where, we were all just stuck inside. I was like playing guitar for a while already. I wasn't like super into it, but I was playing guitar, and then during COVID I got way more into it, and then I went to a guitar store and I bought a bass. And then I was like, "Hey, Rami or Merle, look, there's a bass." And he was like, I don't really want to play it. And I was like, okay.
hint,
And then
hint.
like a couple months later, I was trying to mess around with the bass, and he's like, you know what? Let me see that. And then he ended up picking it up, and he really liked it. And yeah, then I
Nice.
did not put it down for like I would say for like a solid year and a half, 2 years. I played almost like 5 hours a day because I was just locked in
Nice.
my room.
Dude,
It was-
as a guitar player originally, but I definitely have to say that I grew up to love the bass even more, especially as a producer nowadays. Like
Hmm.
the work and the amount of things you can do with the bass is like, oh, I love the bass. So this is super cool, super cool. Wait, so you guys are the two main ones in the group. Anyone else that like
Oh,
participate? Just the two of you,
yeah,
and you guys
even live, it's just a
making the myriad of sounds and everything. So you guys have some producer background, like are you guys playing some MIDI stuff? Tell me a little bit of like how the process of creation of the music happens.
Yeah, totally. So how it kind of goes for us, or basically our like creative vision and how we like to create our stuff, is we kind of just sit down like with a melody or an idea one of us thought of, and I end up like producing like all of our stuff. We have a mixing guy and like a mastering guy that helps us like finalize the tracks, but we started mixing on FL Studio at first and then switched to Logic like recently. So yeah, we basically produce all our stuff like super DIY in our room with like no sound treatment. It kind of works for us. We get in the closet to record vocals and like
Put a
dampen them,
blanket
put a
over
blanket over our
yourself.
head. Yeah, that's basically our creative process. But as far as like what we do while creating, it just varies, honestly, like how a song starts. But yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
a bunch of stuff. We always mess around with the process a little bit,
yeah.
but it's just us two. That's it. Even for our live stuff, it's just us two. We use a like a backing track for like our drums and our synths.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just works well with us. We don't feel like adding another member, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I love it. I mean, you guys are my type of people. Is like make it happen, right? Like I don't want to get into too much of my backstory, but the thing is, I didn't know music like theory at all until I was like 22, 23. Then I got into master's school for music and music composition. Then I got more serious about it. But the more I went to like the music education aspect of things, the more I realized like people just put a lot of things in their brains, a lot of like mental blocks, like, oh, I need to learn this, or if I don't know this, I cannot make it. I need to have all these plugins. And I was like, I think for me it was kind of good that I took so long to get into the education, formal education part of it, because at that point I had already like released 2 albums. I was already like, I had tour around, like I was all about making music, right? So like no matter what it took, right? Like if you had the worst mic possible, just record it, make it happen, right, with whatever tools you got. And this is what I really love about music is just like how we can serve it like an expressive channel for the ones, of course, creating. I'm not even gonna get into the people listening to it. That's probably the next question. It's just amazing. With that in mind, tell me a little bit of like some of the inspirations behind the tracks. Like, what are you guys writing about? Like, how do you relate with the process of creation in terms of like the feelings behind it, right? Like, I
Mm.
personally, again, I do work full time in the music industry, so sometimes I have to just pay the bills. Of course, I always have emotion behind the things I do and I like, but I also work on my own albums, and they are very healing for me when I'm writing my own stuff because I can really dig in deep and understand what's going on and try to translate that into songs. So, what is that for you guys like? I would love to hear that.
I guess how we usually go with like the creative process of like, I guess how we like to create the songs. Usually we just like to go with like a general theme, or half the time when we're writing lyrics, it's just about like what we're feeling. Like every time we write a song, we always kind of ask ourselves a question is like what do we want people to feel like from this, you know? And like for some of our tracks, we like write about anxiety, about I guess navigating like through society as like a young adult, you know, that's confused, or even writing about like love, you know, like I guess we kind of like to like put in our head like what we feel and what we want people to feel when listening to like that song, and we try to
Yeah,
like replicate that feeling through like the music, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, totally.
absolutely.
Like I guess like during our creative process, a lot of time like when we're making the song, at least at what we're hearing, you want to really make people feel like euphoric and like almost
Coming
like
of age.
yeah, almost like cinematic. Like we want our pieces to feel like they could fit in a movie, and it just really like strikes something. At least for us, when we're creating it, we feel it like really deep in like our souls almost. So
Yeah,
we want other people to relate to that and feel that same feeling that we have. Honestly, we keep saying feeling, but I feel like our music and like our vision, we just really want people to feel the song, you know?
yeah,
Like that
yeah.
is the goal. I feel like that's why we got into like synth and like
I was gonna say
really
that.
melodic guitar playing, and his
Yeah,
bass playing is super like rhythmic and just really strikes to your core, and that's kind of like the foundation of
yeah.
our like music creation.
Yeah, I was gonna go there, like especially if you're into synth. I mean, I'm saying this because I relate as well. Like I actually literally wrote a scientific paper back in college about synth, right? Because I'm a synth geek. Is like it changed my life. Brian is one of my gods. Like I love everything about synth, and I feel like the connection between the synth, the cinematic universe, in a way. If you even think about violins, like the whole bad, they kind of feel like a sense when you're doing like that whole legato, just like bads, right? So I feel like they go really hand in hand. So this is really cool. Curious to hear, and now the millennial in me is gonna be a little bit rude, but you guys seem a little bit younger than me. And but what is the references here? Like, how did you guys get in touch with this 80 vibe? And like, why? Like, tell me some of the references and some of your musical story as well. Like, how did you got in touch with this kind of music? Because I would love to hear that.
I would say growing up, our mom played a lot of, so we're Mexican. We come from a Mexican household. Our mom would play a lot of Spanish rock and like 80s Spanish rock, you know? So we would listen to a bunch of like Caifanes, like Hombres G, even like Luis Miguel, they just played like a bunch of like 80s rock with a
Oh,
bunch of
that's super cool.
synths, and it's just like we grew up hearing that a lot and really like felt connected to it. And even like I would say when we started really just listening to music, like when we started growing up, like over 18, when we passed like 18 years old and found our own like music taste, I feel like we both really just gravitated towards like the 80s.
Yeah.
There's something about it. Like we love Joy Division, we love New Order, we love The Cure, and you could hear it in our music.
I want to put, and that's why I was so excited to talk to you guys. Like, I have a Cure tattoo here.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Friday, I'm in Love. Literally in the music video, there's like one little close up of the arm, and they have like almost like trucker heart, and it says Friday, I'm in Love. So it's like, dude, like I want to have this so bad. So me and my band members at the time, this is back in 2009, we all got the same tattoo, just different colors, like Powerpuff Girls.
that's awesome.
Yeah, one red, one green, one blue, each one with like a different word inside, but that was the whole idea. So I super resonate with that, and that's cool. So you think you probably initially come from your parents, especially.
Yeah, I would say it initially came from like our mom and like what we grew up listening to. But honestly, once we like really got more into music, like at first we started just making like indie rock stuff. Like if you look at our first song, Blue Skies, like that's way more just like slow indie rock. But I guess while like making music and doing all that, our ears kind of gravitated more towards like that 80s sound. Like it wasn't I wouldn't say it was like super intentional. Like it just happened. Like we just really liked that sound, and then we both just had that same idea and like vision to go towards that realm. Like it wasn't even anything like we talked about. It was just like it just kind of just happened.
Mhm.
Super
And
cool.
yeah, it
Super
kind of
cool.
just struck deep with us, like, and just showed that that's fully our like expression and like how we wanted this project to go. It's
Nice.
kind of like a beautiful way I like
I
to
love
put
Yeah.
it.
it. I'm actually super excited to dig deeper into you guys' discography here because, as I said, like I relate a lot. I'll be happy to even share some of my stuff, even though I don't release a lot of the stuff that I want to be writing. But I think we have a very similar taste in the things that we're doing. As I said, The Cure for me is probably one of my favorite bands. I love all the other ones you mentioned, Order and Joy Division, Smith as well. Like I just really love that era. Have you guys been to Cat Club in San Francisco or no?
I've heard of it now.
Oh, okay, okay. Wait a minute. How old are you guys? Are you guys like? Can you guys go to like a 21 plus? Okay, so we should go at some point because
Yeah, we
I'll
need
bring you
that.
guys to this because I think actually on I'm not gonna be here because I'm gonna be out of town with family, but I think on December something they're gonna have a Cure night at
Yeah.
Cat Club. Dude, Cat Club is fun. I feel like you guys should.
We have to check
Yeah.
it out.
We
I've heard of
definitely.
it. I've heard
Yeah.
of it. Heard cool things, and it's always been
Oh,
a place
it's
I wanted to check out.
Yeah, when so I'm in Berkeley right now, but I lived in SF for 5 years. Oh,
Mhm.
that was my go-to bar. And then they used to have karaoke night on Mondays, and they could sing all this like
Okay.
stuff, whatever you want. And mostly on Saturdays, they will have definitely a lot of 80s night. So super fun, highly recommended if you guys want to check it out. It's a bar, it's a club, you just do your regular things, but
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool if you like that type of music. Awesome. So moving forward a little bit, tell me about um and now kind of to kind of correlate a little bit with Papaya too. Like, tell me about like what is the live scene for you guys? Are you guys playing live a lot? What is the music business part for you guys as well? Like, are you guys what is the plan for the band, right? You
Mhm.
guys wanting to have this full time at some point? Is like a side project? Like, I want to hear some of the ambitions of the band a little bit more on the business side of things.
Okay. So for background, we both just graduated from San Jose State in May. So we were always doing the band just like on the side. And I would say last year I counted the amount of gigs we had. We probably played almost 30 shows in the year, which is pretty good. We played at least
Wow,
3 to 4 times a month, which was really
nice.
good for us, and it really helped expedite our like growth of the year. And as for like how we want to continue to like do like music, we both want to do this like full time, you know? But obviously we got bills to pay, so like we're just doing this like any chance we get. Like I know both of us, this is like the first thing we think about when we wake up and last thing we think about before we go to sleep. Like we
Yeah,
want it really bad and we want to go all the way with it. And as for like the business side of like how we like to like approach the band, I would like to say I try to manage us. especially with a degree in business information system. I just like to like run this whole like project, and he likes to produce all the stuff. So I think we could like make a great team in that sense. And this upcoming year, we're planning a lot more stuff. Like I really want to, the biggest goal every like year has been like just we want to be more professional. We want to carry ourselves in a way that shows that we feel like we can go all the way with it, you know? And yeah, just managing finances too for the band is interesting. And
Yeah.
also a thing we had to learn, especially like splitting like the money we make from shows and merch and like money for ourselves. Like we tend to just anything we make for the band, we keep it for the band and
Nice.
reinvest it for the band, you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. What are some of the main challenges you think you're facing nowadays in terms of like managing the band?
Over managing the band, I would say the biggest thing is probably it's probably meeting the right people. I would say like especially like people in the industry that you want to connect with. Like for booking shows, like right now I'm booking us a tour for next year, like a mini tour. And I think the biggest challenge of that alone was trying to meet the right people. And the way I guess I was able to talk to the right people was through other bands and other areas, being like, hey, do you guys know anyone for this? Like, you
Yeah.
guys are from here. Anyone I can hit up to book us this show, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing is always meeting the right people in the industry, you know, especially for your needs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're not saying just because I told you about papaya, right? Because like I feel like
No.
it really is, right? Like I I
Yeah.
I I can't stress this enough, right? Like we were talking a little bit before papaya and before we started recording this, and
Yeah.
I mean, you of course you strike, right into my heart here because. A lot of people are looking to the money side of things, which is hard. Don't get me wrong, but like
Mm.
this industry, mind blowing enough, it's so like so unorganized and so like off the
Yeah.
books, right? Like it's really about who you know, the friend of a friend, word of mouth, which is cool. I think it brings a side of vetting to things, but then when you go online. There's all that noise, and then you're trying to like kind of navigate it online. We're like, well, who the hell do I connect now? It's like so this is really again what we're trying to build, right? Is like how can we bring the effectiveness and vetting of word of mouth to the scale of the online, right? This is really it's such a mantra for us. So like you saying this, we're like, oh my gosh, I like
That's
it.
actually so interesting. When I was in university, I had a startup idea, and it was exactly your guys' mission. I had an idea to
Hell yeah,
create a startup on basically connecting musicians with bookers, and it
yeah.
was essentially like LinkedIn for like musicians.
There you
I
go.
never like got to like really get investors in it, but. It was an idea I had, and I
Yeah,
thought it was really a good idea because it's like something that is not in the industry yet, and I feel
yeah.
like there's a gap in that market, you know? So
Cool, cool. Oh, that makes me happy, dude. Like I appreciate you saying that because it means a lot. It is hard to find investors, like especially because again, the music industry is like, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people looking to like the top of the pyramid. Are you gonna like, help people increase their streaming? It's like screw streaming, man. Like it's such a waste of time, honestly. It's cool. It's like your business card. You gotta be online, right? You gotta be in streaming, but that doesn't pay the bills, and it's like it's not worth the effort, right? That's why I want to create this podcast as well, along with the startup, because Papaya's mission is also about curating information, right? Putting people online into like a profile thing it's important, but I also know that the data behind of like what is successful and what's not, and what path to take is almost as important, right? So I really want to keep this like very lo-fi, independent, like, and hear people like you guys is like hear what you guys are doing and show people that it is possible, right? Because it is. I mean, it's hard. And again, I don't want to promise a stardom. Like, this is not really what this is about. Like, I don't want to say that there's also a supply and demand problem. There's only so many spotlights for all the people that are wanting those spotlights. But Is there a way to make people's career better and more efficient?
Mm.
Maybe instead of having 9 to 5, you can do this part time while you're doing music part time. I think there's enough of a scene there that we could do it, right? Again, not the big money. I don't think we're gonna tackle that just yet. In the future, I have plans, but for now, let's help out, right? Like let's connect and share idea. What worked for you guys that we can share that for the future, right? So with that in mind, kind of like a final question here, what has worked for you guys? Like, do you want to share a little bit of like some tips that you guys might have? Like something like, ooh, like I kind of wish I knew this earlier, and like through my own process, my own struggle, I've learned. That could be in the music process, that could be in the music business, whatever it is that you found. Like, oh, I would love to share this with the community.
Yeah, totally. So I feel like what's helped us a lot along the way was let's first I'll get into like I feel like we can answer this question in like multiple ways. First I'll get into like the production side of it. I think you mentioned this earlier too, and I feel like I fell victim to it where you get super like into like plugins or what effects to use or how you should make your pedal board look or just things like that where for a while, I feel like we got super caught into that, thinking that that would make the music sound better, but not necessarily focusing on the music. So I kind of like a while ago, like strayed super away from like a bunch of plugins, and I was like, let me just, they all do the same thing. Let's just stick with this and just fully focus on like producing the music and I guess song structure and how the music theory of like our songs and how we want them to be orchestrated. So I feel like straying away from I guess like plugins or effects or looking into why this thing buying this will make me sound better. Just focusing way more into like the music and like the art of it. Because at the end of the day, it's like a full form of expression. Like you're creating something straight purely from you, and it's really hard for it not to get tainted from like all these other outside things. So I think really staying true to like the core of it helped us a lot. And as for like other things that worked for us, I feel like the biggest thing, and it's like an old school method, but it's really about who you know and not like what you know sometimes, like I feel like thank God we were able to get like some great opportunities this past year because of this Southern California band that they were coming to Sacramento and San Francisco, and I was like, we've been listening to them for a while, and I was like, we would love to open for you guys. We're huge fans of you guys, like basically like hoping they would give us a chance, and they did, and we played those 2 dates, and because those 2 dates
Wow.
slowly snowballed because we knew them. Other people were like, oh, when they would come to San Francisco, or like, oh, they played with this band, like we can hit them up since like they're already like we trustworthy.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's really helped us just to like really put our put ourselves out there and in front of people and be like, hey, like essentially like give us a chance,
Yeah.
and I guess we did that a lot online, like with mutuals with a lot of people like that we want to be mutuals with, and it's because we really put an effort to put ourselves out there and to put our name in front of people's eyes,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
and
exactly.
it's like it's worked for us. And I'm really thankful that some of these people give us a chance and that they believe in us and what we do. And I think that's what's helped us a lot, like just really putting ourselves out there in front of people and especially with the people that we want to be surrounded with, like in
Yeah.
the right scene, like we really connect with the people in the scene we want to get into, So that's one thing is understanding the market that you're trying to enter.
Yeah.
And I guess the genre, if there's a genre you're trying to enter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so valuable. I loved. I mean, love both of the things you guys, and I 100% agree. Right, the network power, right? Like, and being surrounded by the right people, and props to you guys to be reaching out. And this is super cool. Like, you guys reach out, and we're able to get like an opening slot. We actually want to introduce that on Papaya. Like, find the opening slot for your next show X, Y, and Z, right? And then you kind of filter through some of the bands you like, and give the bands also the opportunity because it pays off, right? Like it like one chance that you give to a band, like it literally can change their life, right? So it's super
Yeah,
cool. And
really.
with the plugin thing, like I've been teaching some mixing classes. I don't know if you guys signed up for Papaya yet. But when we're done here, please go ahead and sign up because I'm starting to also like make some content for the people that are inside the platform, and I also want to provide content in the future. But I'll be teaching mixing classes, and my philosophy on mixing, like I feel like a lot of folks have been appreciating, is like I'm like dead simple with everything, and like I feel like mixing starts in the arrangement, right? Like if you're arranging your songs right, you're gonna have a better time with the recording. If you're recording your songs right, you're gonna have an easier time with mixing. If you're mixing your songs right, you're gonna have a easier time with mastering. If you need to send it to master, I've been meeting some pretty big folk here that are like, I'm skipping mastering sometimes, man. It's like, yeah, it serves a purpose, and that's not really what I'm trying to say. But the point is, like, when you're doing those crafts right, and just thinking from the beginning, from conception, it really helps. And in a mixing class, they say, hey, how were they able to do kick-ass things back in the like 40s and 50s with like, three knobs? So let's have the three knob philosophy. Like, let's EQ, let's compress a little bit, let's use reverbs right, and everything else is history. Maybe a little bit of exciter or
Less is
distortion.
more. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Less is
less is
more.
less is
more.
That's
more.
literally
Yeah,
what I was trying to get at, like with
Less is
that
more.
question, because I feel like honestly that philosophy applies like with a lot of things. I feel like not even
yeah,
just music, but with media too. I feel like a lot of people get caught like in the noise, like what everyone's saying, or you
yeah.
should do it this way or do it like this. Well, I saw in this YouTube video
Oh my
this,
gosh.
or even like
Yeah,
on TikTok, like, oh, if you do this, then you're gonna change everything. Where feel like there's so many opinions now because of media where you get caught in the noise. You're like, I don't know what to believe, but that's what I was trying to get at, where it really just matters on like the foundation of the song, where we kind of like wanted to stray away more. We're still learning, obviously, like we're not by no
Got a
means we're
long way
like
to go still.
yeah, by no
yeah.
means are we like super there where we want to be at. But I guess in the past like year, what I've really learned and what we've really learned is that just sticking to like the core of the song, really trying to focus on like making people feel something and
Yeah, yeah.
focusing on the artistry. Because when you're creating and when you're making music, it's just a full form of expression. Like it's a super vulnerable thing. So
Let's go.
having people even like feel and have and touch with that music or what you're creating, I think is such a beautiful thing. So
Yeah,
just remember keeping that in mind, I think is really important.
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, guys. I mean, as I said, I have a hard time keeping myself short, but I do feel like, for the sakes of the listeners, I feel like we could wrap up now. But it would be super cool for us to dive deeper into all of this stuff because I really dig the conversation. I feel like we're really aligned, and the more I've been doing this podcast, I feel like, well, we're all kind of within the same wavelength, right? Like this
Mhm.
independent thing, like we're all thinking alike, right? And that's why I want Papaya to be this bastion of like, hey, let's get together under this umbrella. Whatever the umbrella is, I feel like I'm really open to let the community shape this. But I feel like we need to organize enough to kind of put this information. And one thing that you're saying that I'm just going to share this really quickly with you, and I didn't share this, especially investors don't know this, but uh, the whole thing started. I mean, I had, as I was telling you guys, I had other ideas for what was then become Papaya. But the one of the pivotal days I was meditating under a tree here because we're super Bay Aryans. I was like meditating here, and I heard because I was thinking about like what should this be, what should this be, and I heard a voice that said, "Cut through the noise, cut through the noise, cut through the noise," and I was like, "Wow, that's brilliant!" So you're saying about the noise, right? And a slogan, Papaya slogan, maybe unofficially for us inside at least the team, it is cut through the noise because we are living in an era of post-truth. Like I go to YouTube nowadays, I'm tired. Like you should do this. Then like 2 videos later, don't ever do this. Like oh
Yeah.
my god, like what
Literally,
the
that's
heck?
how it is.
Yeah.
What do you even believe? And I think we're all suffering from that in a way, right? So why not build something that through data we're gonna see what is working and what is not, right? Like, of course, there's stories that this is data too, right? And I'm not saying only like numbers. I'm saying data is like experiences as well. We can see the path of feel and understanding some of the stuff that is working, and maybe we can share that with others, right? Y'all, it was such a pleasure. As I said, so cool to be talking with you guys. I really appreciate any shout outs, dates coming up, or concerts, new music, anything you guys want to end up with.
Yeah, we just dropped a new song called Dusk with our friends Luna Ivy, and we're planning a SoCal tour in March, late March.
Hmm.
And we got a bunch of new music coming out next year. A
Lot of
bunch
new
of new music.
music, hopefully an album.
Yeah,
So
hopefully it's an album of some sort. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff planned for next year and we're on our platforms. And shout out to Israel's Arcade for giving us a chance on to play in Sacramento
SF.
and SF and also to Make Out Reefer. That's how you guys found us. We played at Bottom of the Hill with them. It was an amazing show. Thank you, because of them, like, like it's helped us open up some doors and they may not even realize it, but we've gotten some opportunities because of those shows and really grateful, like for
Mhm.
I guess them seeing something in us.
Yeah, and thanks to all our listeners and like the people that are close to us that like suit like really support this vision and support us fully. We can't do like any of what we're doing now without them. It really means a lot to us. So
Yeah.
Super cool. Guys, I wish you truly, truly like great success. Like I believe in everything you guys are doing. I love the music. I love the mission. I love you guys' personality. I feel like you guys have everything it needs to like just go really, really far. So keep it going. See us, Papaya, as a resource, honestly. Anything we could do to help. And I mean it. I'm not saying this just because of the camera or anything. I really mean it. Reach out, any way we can help. We're a small company, pre-funded, but the thing is, the goal behind it is like let's get together and like share and help each other out. So even myself, John here, like if I can help with anything, if you want to feedback on some music or mixing,
Yeah,
maybe I'll,
totally.
yeah, I'll teach you guys or invite you guys to one of the mixing sessions or something like that for free. Like
great,
That'd be
honestly.
awesome.
I would
Yeah.
love to learn from like
yeah.
from your perspective,
Yeah. We're always
especially
open
like
to learning, honestly.
yeah.
Absolutely, and even myself. I mean, I'm by any means like the best at this, but I've been doing it long enough, and I was like, oh, maybe I can share something. Maybe you guys will even teach me some stuff as well. So it was a pleasure. We'll hope to see you guys soon, and thank you so
Oh,
much.
thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
thanks
for
for
having
coming.
us.
Yeah.
Thank you.